knew it wasn't going to be a bad night, regardless of what happened in the Bruins game. After I absolutely demolished the chicken parm sandwich from Big Daddy's in record time. I needed that, and I think the Bruins needed it too, man. I downed that in about 7 minutes in the first period, and it's big, and it's filling.
Well, and it had extra sauce and extra peppers on it.
Extra sauce and peppers. I never once had a hiccup. I don't think I had it. I easily could have had another. Honest to God, I don't even know if my stomach felt it.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think you took a breath.
I didn't.
Let alone a hiccup. It was...
I didn't.
It was gone.
I absolutely devoured it. I needed it. If you're in the area, I'll tell you what, Big Daddy's chicken parm sub, or I called. I used to call it
I
grinder,
got the Copley Club. The Copley
you got
Club
the Copley Club. Yeah,
solid.
You are. The Copley Club is one of your regular go-tos there.
It is the go-to.
Not only did I down
I got halfway through mine.
You had no chance tonight. I did my best Razor Chipotle imitation, and I didn't get one speck of extra sauce on my suit or my tie, my shirt. Anyways, it was good. So you see, I knew then it was going to be the night was going to be good. I welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, by the way, as the Bruins coming off a 3-1 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins, a game that they had to have. Like, I had to have that sandwich because I was famished. A game that had a lot of good to it. I didn't think perfect, but really, when it was all said and done, a beautiful effort. A beautiful effort after you had a less than energetic effort on Sunday when they lost 1-0. So let's just get right into it. First period, first shift, Bergeron line on the ice. How much do you think that shift set the tone?
Those guys, their ability to set the tone is in these games, and when this team goes on a bit of a slide is so impressive, and so they're not overlooked, but they are overlooked, and they're going to be missed at some point, whenever that is, and you're going to look back more fondly than what they probably get even now, I think, because of their ability to come up to a game like today that recognize the importance of it, recognize the urgency of it, and come out on the first shift and just take it to them and say, listen, this is how we're going to play, guys. This is show the rest of the team how they're going to play, what's expected out of everybody else. And they did that again tonight. Again, coming off of a lackluster game, and a tough game, and now playing on the road again. Set the tone against a good Pittsburgh team who's played so well at home. Only 3 losses, now 4 losses at home all season. They stomped them pretty good.
They did.
That line. Maybe.
Yeah, and Krejci's line, yes. After they kept rolling too. And we're going to get into both lines, especially Krejci's line in a minute. The funny thing, I was just looking up the shot, everything, the stats quickly before we sat down to chat about the game. And, we talked in the first intermission. I thought that the first period had some good stuff to it, but I still thought it was, I was sitting telling you this in our video room. I thought at times the Bruins still struggled with the neutral zone. I thought they got the play taken to them a fair amount to the wall in their own zone. I thought their D were a half second late at moving the puck. Now, that also could have been an issue with the forwards not being in the right spot. Regardless, I felt that they got hemmed in at times too much and turned pucks over, and Pitt still had some good chances. But yet then I looked at the numbers, and again, I'm mixed on analytics. I have nothing against them. I don't overuse them. But if you look at their Corsi in the first period, it was significantly better than the other 2 periods. I was somewhat, surprised by that, to be honest with you, Razor. But yet they came out of that period, and it was 1-0 or no score.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the season, just the way it's played out and playing the same teams, you came out of that more thinking about the game before. And because of these back-to-back games against the team, you're thinking, all right, they didn't come out and they weren't winning 3-0 at the end of the first. So you almost look at it more of a carryover from the last game rather than just taking the still shot of that first period. I know that's what I was doing a little bit because I thought they were going to come out and be, all right, 2-0 end of the first period. But when it was 0-0 again and they're slogging through a little bit at times, it allowed me to miss the good stuff they were doing. And would it have been different had they won the game before you come out of that first? I think I would have been, wow, they're just dominating this team. And the reality of it is that through 4 periods, they were losing to a really good Pittsburgh team, 1-0 in their home arena. So I think it goes to just the way the season's set up, playing these back-to-back games, and it goes to the Islanders, the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's how these games are. They're going to be bad giveaways. There's going to be turnovers, and the key is not to open up enough to allow them to go offensively directly off one of those turnovers, one of those bad plays, and be able to just turn it back the other way or only have it become a 3-on-3 or a chip into their zone and then go get it again. And that's what the Bruins did really well. It was they didn't break. They bent on, for a few shifts where they couldn't connect the pass, but they didn't give up a whole lot, and Tukka was there when they did.
Yeah. Very good game by Tukka. Couple of real big saves, especially in the first period. By the way, the Bruins outshot the Penguins 14-11 in the first, 8-6 in the second, 9-9 tie in the third. But the Bruins overall attempted a ton of shots in this game. The whole attempt thing significantly more. Just to my point before, they outchanced Pitt 21-11 in the first period. That was the only period, by the way, that they were plus 50% in the game. The rest, the other two, just under 50%. But Tukka was very good. Let's just get right to him. Swayman played the 1-0 game. The kid was great again. No issue with the goal that he gave up. Tukka comes in, and I thought your thing in pregame was great about showing how his last game against Buffalo, he was sliding and just not even – I know you called it sliding. I just noticed he was just leaning, moving a little bit more. Maybe that's just my non-technical term. But he didn't do that at all in this game. He held his toes, held his feet, and pucks were hitting him where, again, it looked Tukka easy at times.
That's right. Yeah, he was getting to a spot. He had his feet set on all shots. He wasn't sliding laterally to get to his spot. He was moving there on his feet, which allows him to get there quicker, allows him to read the play rather than reacting to the play. When you're sliding, you're reacting because you're down. And and you're right. When he is leaning, the McCann shot right down the gut in the second period, he didn't lean at all. Where the game before, we saw him on a similar play with Dahlin where there was more traffic, but he was leaning the wrong way, guessing rather than hanging in and just reading the shot and knowing he only had to move an inch here or there to make that save. And I think that save, the save in the first, later in the first, where it was a shoulder save, he knocked it over the net on Rust, I believe.
Yep.
Those were exactly what you're saying. He wasn't leaning either way. He's big shoulders up over the puck. If you're going to beat me, you're going to have to make a perfect shot. And when Tukka's there getting to a spot, that's what we've seen 99% of the time. The one on Friday was an aberration, and he's going to have those every once in a while, but he brought it right back to where the Bruins need him against a Pittsburgh team.
I don't remember who the save he made on, I believe it was the second period, where we both kind of said, oh, and it looked like he moved that right part of his body. And for a second, I held my breath like,
that was in
a second.
Yeah, in the third. In the third. It didn't get to him. It was like, remember, it was a deflected shot or something. It didn't get to him. And, he moved a little gingerly after. You're like, and I think that's the state we're in with Tukka probably the rest of the season as well. Any of those, a little bit on eggshells, right? Which
that's tough, man.
It's not the best feeling.
No. That's going to be tough. He didn't make any reference to it in postgame, or at least the postgame that we had access to.
Yeah.
He gave no indication that he was hurt, but visually for that, it was that 5 seconds. We were both it was audible, Tukka, and then we saw him stay down a little, but then he ended up at least appearing to be all right. All right, so let's go back. So it's 1-0, and or it's 0-0 after one, and they get into the second period, and the Bruins have killed a few penalties. They get the power play. The power play still doesn't connect for a goal, but thankfully had movement, had opportunities. It all starts with winning battles, winning face-off, winning battles. Pastrnak one-timer from the left flank. Nice save by Tristan Jarry, but it was great connection. It was a great shot on net. And then after that, it kind of made everything else seem to flow better. So while they, special teams, you would say power play didn't come through for them. That wouldn't be totally true. The power play was good enough for them to help get them going. At least we thought so.
That's right. Pittsburgh didn't dump it down the ice 5 times to the point of frustration for everyone on the power play, everyone on the bench watching. They had some good opportunities. They had some good looks. They would have everybody had energy. The bench had energy. The power play had energy coming out of that. And it led to the goal by Krejci because a minute later, when that penalty was done, they were on the shift. They had the momentum in their zone the whole time, and they were able to continue that. And that's, to your point, that's what the power play needs to do. If they're not scoring, they need to at least keep momentum. They cannot make it the deflating 10 icings down the ice where everyone's just skating 200 feet. That's much more frustrating. Even though you don't score, if your team's in there the whole time, you feel better about it.
Yeah, and I do think that they worked hard on it. And I haven't always felt that they've worked hard enough on the power play. I haven't. I feel like, I know they retrieve pucks well when they're on, but there have been other times where it's been too individual.
And it doesn't, they can work hard, but if the penalty kill's working harder than them, then it doesn't matter how hard you're working, right? Yeah. So to that point, it's very, it's not an arbitrary thing. If you're getting outworked, you're not working hard enough. Yeah. So, and yes, I agree with you. There's times where they get individual and it doesn't work.
Bergeron wins 2 of 3 faceoffs on the power play, always key, gets him going there. Then we jump to, as you said, 18:10, the exact time that the goal was scored, but it's about 10 seconds before that, where Tukka, whose puck touches weren't always sharp in this game for a while, until late in the second period. He had a puck touch before the goal over to McAvoy. And then this one too, Charlie, really gets him going. And, man, it was nice to see Charlie flowing and going and the jersey flapping and, dancing up the ice. He was able to attack with speed in the neutral zone, get 2 Penguin defenders who thought they were going to trap up in the neutral zone. He got them to bite, basically, just to be in that kind of, that area between red line and blue line. And boom, right as soon as they were trying there, thinking they would maybe seal him off, he passed over to a streaking Krejci who did the rest going to his backhand. I love that shot. I think sometimes it looks like a bad goal against the goalie. I'm telling you, I love that shot. It's going to the cross side, backside. It's silky, man. I just thought it's silky.
It is silky, and when Krejci does it, it looks even a little more silkier. He does a great job as that right-handed shot cutting to his left, and to that point of McAvoy skating, not the forward step up, but the D have to back off. And the idea is that forward step up and force McAvoy to dump it in, and then the D are backing up so they get to it first. They can beat the forecheckers. But in this case, McAvoy does a great job not dumping it, making the play, and that gives Krejci that little extra room that allows him to cut to his left backhand. And with that shot, it's so hard for a goaltender to stay patient because you want to get there and you want to take away the short side shelf. Backhand is typically where they go. So once Jarry moves enough to his right, Krejci sends it back over his pad. You can't react. You can't get down on it because of the way it comes off of a stick on a backhander. That low backhander is so difficult to stop.
Yeah. Goalies always say hard to pick up the point of release.
Yeah, you can't read it.
On the backhand, you can't read it well. And also, let's not look past that move that Krejci makes on Matheson. That when he gets the puck there, Matheson loads on his right leg, brings it in a bit, and his stick is in a different place. And as soon as Krejci sees him thinking he's going to step up, that's when he just sucks the puck back in, goes to his backhand, gives himself a little extra space going to with the wide, getting the puck out to his backhand, and then goes back towards over the left pad. So it's 2-0 at that, or 1-0 at that time. Bruins make it 2-0 halfway through the third period, but it was after a good Penguins thrust the first few minutes. And I wasn't having any agita from my chicken parm sandwich, but I was thinking, holy smokes, I could see the Penguins come back a little bit. But again, the top line settle things down. They get a few good shifts. There's that fight with Lausanne and Bluger. I still think Black and Bluger was really good. I really do. My father has no idea who Teddy Bluger is, but if my father heard me say, hey, he's going to end up Black and Bluger, my father would laugh his ass off, which is not a good sign because it means that my sense of humor.
It means you're getting old.
It's shit. It's awful.
Wow, yeah, your delivery was perfect on me. I thought you were going to be all serious and have some insight, and you nailed me. So you got me laughing like your old man on that one.
That was awful. It was so good or so bad it was all right.
Exactly.
But the fight, I don't know. Does it spark anything? I don't know. I mean, it's not like it was bad. Jeremy Lauzon, who I thought had a much better game than he had the other day, gets into it with Bluger. And then the Bruins go on the offensive, and Marchand gets a goal after more speed through the neutral zone. And, it's amazing how the first period, I know the Bruins had all these chances, but it was different. I thought you made a great point. They threw a ton of pucks at the net in the first, but they got more inside the second and third. I think that nails it right there.
Yeah, and listen, that's how you have to. It's body shots against these teams. You're not going to hit. You're not knocking one of these teams out that play this well defensively through the neutral zone. Listen, we've talked about it at length when they were 0-5 against the Islanders. You have to get pucks in. You have to get pucks to the net. You have to break them down, and then it opens up in the next couple periods. And that was the case against the Penguins. They got the pucks. That first period didn't look great, but they were getting, they were throwing it to the net, getting it to the net. And then things opened up, especially when you score that first goal. Then things can open up a little bit more and you take advantage. The Bruins have speed on the wings right now. And, they use that tonight, especially in the third with David Pastrnak using his speed. And then Taylor Hall, his ability and what he's done, adding speed, and it's made Smith faster. It's made Krejci faster. And those guys are pushing D-back on every shift. Every rush to the neutral zone, they're pushing guys back.
Taylor Hall's goal is pretty sweet. Pretty sick.
It's really sweet. Really sweet.
He gets Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
That's
think
what makes
about,
it sweeter. And we didn't get to it as much on the post game, and I was thinking about it on the ride back and thinking about it that was pretty. That's a pretty special goal.
Yeah, like he's feeling the pressure when he crosses the blue line. Crosby's coming at him pretty fast, slides across, and he passes the puck to himself basically. And when he gets it, he then doesn't waste time. He loads and snipes. Short side. I don't know. ESPN loves hockey again. That probably will make its top 10. I haven't watched SportsCenter in so long. I wouldn't know do they even do it anymore.
I
have no idea.
I didn't either.
It better make the NHL networks plays of the night.
Yeah.
Better.
With the names involved, that adds a couple points.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm such an idiot. I don't even know if we have plays of the night anymore. Oh, they must have like Top Shelf or something. That's what they have, Top Shelf.
Top Shelf, yeah, that's a kid, my Mace man.
I miss going to the NHL Network, by the way, and I'm gonna be able to soon when I'm fully vaccinated. I do.
Yeah,
I love the people there. But, anyways, that was a great shot. Oh my God, I don't know what was better, the self pass or the Hall pass. That was another bad joke. Although that it's a pun or whatever. I think it's actually kind of accurate. But then the snipe. I mean, from a goalie's perspective, like we slow it down into that slow motion and everything. It almost looks like, how could he miss that? Well, you know what? In real time, self pass into snipe. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's the difference maker is that self pass, and we talked about with Jari, he can overplay plays. So Hall being the lefty coming from the left side to the middle, again, Jari pulled off that short side a little bit because he's following that body of Hall, and even more so with that Hall pass, as you want to call it, that gets Jari moving even more, and that's what pulls off that short side. And it is so difficult with that left-hander coming off the left wall. Really difficult because the body gets ahead, but you can't follow the body. You have to stay on the puck.
Yeah. It was awesome. It really was.
What a shot. What a goal. What a play.
What a goal.
Yeah.
He's happy. Krejci is happy. Craig Smith is happy. Craig Smith's face was awesome. Those, after the whoa. That was awesome. 3-0 at the time. Jeff Carter scores a very nice goal, a heavy-duty shot. He was from the front tees, though, man. He walked in right side and pure. He hit it pure. Beats Tukka
and he's
over
got
the
that
right shoulder.
Great big long stick, and he like whipped it. Because again, that's with that big right-handed shot that he's got a lot of short side, and that's kind of where Tukka's playing. And he just, instead of going short side, he whips it post and in. That guy, man, he's good.
Yeah,
and he's lost a step, and we talked about him. Yeah, he's going to be helpful for that team. But what a career! It's fun to watch.
Yeah, he'll be especially helpful when he's third line for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. When Gino's
the Bruins play the Penguins, this is going to be a tough series. If the Bruins end up playing them, I mean, we know that they could play any one of four. We also know they haven't made the playoffs yet, but they're one step closer.
Yeah,
with the win.
No, it's funny. They're all really similar teams, huh? They're all looking at the scoreboard tonight, right? You look at the Florida, Tampa, Carolina division. All those games are 7-4 tonight. 5-4, 5-1, 7-4. All of this division, the East, 2-1, 3-1, 1-0. It's gonna be grind fest.
This is the best
first
division.
2 rounds.
This is the toughest division.
The top 4 teams, yeah.
Top 4 teams are the toughest, which we thought they would be. That doesn't mean your Stanley Cup winners coming out of this division. I will say Vegas and Colorado. Those two are pretty heavy.
Oh man, what a series that! I hope those 2 guys play each other in the second round. It's gonna be
I do too.
Fireworks. But yeah. Back to whether it's Pittsburgh, whether it's the Island, whether it's Washington, they're gonna be really tough series. But the Bruins have played all 3 of them pretty well at the end of the day.
Well, Bruins win the series,
and not all the way through, but they've all won their 8-game series. Let's say their 8-game series, they've won 2 of them right now, and they have an opportunity to win the 3rd.
A little ranking time. Charlie Coyle, iced, cold brew, a nice warm cup, or piping, fresh hot cup.
Well, I mean,
move to the right wing.
Yeah, are we setting the bar? Like, what's where do we set the bar? I think it's not an iced coffee because he did more tonight. He did get to spots tonight. He laid the body. He played 15 minutes. He did a good job on the PK.
231. Yep.
Yep. So he contributed.
I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him that cup that's been, the
one you got a microwave.
No, I'm probably too easy. I'll give him a. It's not fresh. I'll give him warm. I'll give him a nice warm. I mean, yeah, you know what? I'm actually thinking shit. Maybe, so maybe the one that's warm, but you do want to heat up a little more. I don't know. It was everybody wants to see him score, including me. But really, I want to see him just possess the puck more.
Yeah, I do. Listen, you know what? If he had have taken, what's bugging me? If he had taken that puck on Letang to the net,
I agree.
Even if he didn't do anything else,
I know
all night. If he had driven the shoulder and taken that to the net, he's getting a hot coffee.
But I felt like that was auto last year and the year before. That was automatic.
It should be. I hope. I know they're going to watch it. I know one of the coaches are going to tell him about it. But if he takes that to the net, it changes my whole game, how I look at him. Because he did have a pretty solid game, but I just watched that and him wheeling all the way around the net and then trying to make a play on the half wall. Like, take that to the net. That's what we're missing out of you right now.
Solid is nice. Solid isn't going to win you more than a round of playoffs, though.
No,
and I might not even. And
listen, you just said Jeff Carter is going to be more than solid come playoff time on that.
Right. Charlie Coyle has to be more. He has to be. I think everybody listening, watching us understands that. I don't know, man. I think people are holding their breath that he's going to find that game come playoff time. I don't think that's an easy switch to flip, or
it's not. But it can do. It can happen. No,
I agree.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
Trent Frederick, what do we give him back in after missing a couple of weeks? His line just under 11 minutes, 18 shifts, no special teams time, had 5 hits.
Yeah, he brought good energy.
Nice cup.
Yeah, nice cup. I thought, out of that fourth line, or he got moved up, like you said. I thought he was the most effective out of the three of them. The guy I noticed more than anyone.
Has Mike Riley's play dropped? I mean, he's playing less. He played 16:44. He was a +3 in this game. He's not playing with McAvoy, so he's not playing huge minutes. He's got Kevin Miller with him, so he still plays some good minutes. But
and he's not going to kill penalties.
Well, not as much. Not as much. He's the number 3 guy right now.
I was going to say,
maybe 4, maybe even 4.
I would. The fact that listen, the play dropped off from the first 3 games he was here, but that wasn't sustainable. I mean, he's a solid D man, but the way he was playing, he was like Norris Trophy winner the first 3 or 4 games. Everything was going perfect, and I think listen, other than that penalty at the start, I didn't notice him, which I think's not a bad thing. If he makes a couple nice offensive plays, but you don't notice him defensively, I think that's kind of where you want him to be.
Yeah. Didn't have any giveaways in the game. Yeah. I didn't love that penalty. It looked so nondescript, but there's no reason to grab the guy's stick when the guy's riding you from the side coming in. The guy can't run you from behind, or if he does, he's going to get a penalty.
Yeah, and Kevin Miller's there with the puck. It's it's a little chip to him, and you're out of the zone.
Right,
so,
right.
But
that's wondering, because the last 2 games he's been below the 20-minute threshold, which again is fine. I'm actually fine with that. I think I was wowed by the first 5 or whatever it was, 6. I'm like, holy smokes.
Yeah. And again, he's going to get Buffalo here the next couple times, where he's it should be more point opportunities the next 4 games rather than a Pittsburgh.
Yeah. No practice on Wednesday. No practice for the Bruins. And I'm going to guess that Brandon Carlo's going to be back with the team practicing on Thursday. Just a guess. Mm-hmm. I think he's close from everything I'm hearing. Now, I don't know how long he will need to get ready. My guess, and I know absolutely freaking nothing, as I like to say, because it's true, but I think he'll practice, and he'll practice through the weekend, and then maybe be ready for New Jersey. You got to give him a couple of good skates. But he's been working on the ice. He's been looking good. He's been going hard. So, that's good. Andre Kasha has also been out there a couple of times.
Man, oh man.
I don't see him, though. And he looks good.
You know what? I want him to be an X factor. I
don't see it.
I like him. And I liked what he did in the bubble last year. I liked what he did in the first 2 games he played this year. I think not having to be on that second line, I think what he could bring a lot to that third line if he plays. And it's a hope. It's a catch the shooting star. I get it.
What a big ask, man. It's a
huge ask, but he's got a lot of talent. He does have a lot of talent. So if he has any ability to stay healthy and he can play the third line, That's a much different look than where they put him on that second line whenever he's played, or playing against Tampa Bay in the bubble last year on the second line. Being able to play on the third line behind a Smith, Hall, Krejci line, that adds something. And again, that's a shot in the dark. I'm wishfully thinking.
It's a heavy ask, man. To ask him to come back after being out for so long. But the good news is that he's been taking some skates, some sessions out there, and hopefully the guy is good enough. First of all,
if he works his way back in, and if he's done this much work this entire season to get back in, the hockey gods reward things like that.
That'd be nice. Yeah. Just want to make sure the guy has a healthy life, no matter what. Let's see. Anything else? I mean, look, hot, fresh cup to both the first and second line. They completely, number-wise, control the play when they're out there. What I tell you, they combined for 35 chances for, 9 against the Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci line.
High danger, you said 7-1.
Yeah, 7-1. That was it. The Corrali line did not have a good Corsi. They didn't. But it wasn't. It's still a work in progress. I really like the fourth line of Corrali, Wagner, and then Lazar in the middle. I do.
Me too.
So I don't know how you get back to that. But I think you need to. I know how you get back.
Andre Kasher.
Yeah, exactly. But you put Coyle back at center, but that means then you're either putting DeBrus back on the wing, or you're bringing Kuhlman in, or I don't know. I don't know how you get there, but I think that the team needs the fourth line identity to be successful in the long term.
Agree.
So I'm curious to see what they do against Buffalo. I am. Like I said, Bruins with no practice on Wednesday on this day. Buffalo is expected to practice over at Warrior in the afternoon. They just lost a couple in a row to the New York Rangers, who remain 4 points behind the Bruins as of this recording, this podcast, and YouTube video. Bruins with the next 2 games against Buffalo. There's no excuse, my friend. None, if they don't win these 2 games now. None. They can have the hottest goalie in the world, Dustin Tokarski or Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I mean,
well done.
Thank you. You got to win these 2 games.
Yeah.
You win these 2 games, and you're right there.
Yeah.
You're right there. You pointed out, what's the rundown? It's 9 points is the tragic number for the Rangers, right?
9 points, tragic number. So meaning the Rangers can't give up any points, and the Bruins can go 4-3-1, and they're in the playoffs. So if Rangers run the table, the Bruins only have to go 4-3-1. 2 of these games, Buffalo, they get that tragic number down in 4 days from now, from 9 to 5. It's put a proverbial nail in the coffin.
And who did you say the Rangers have coming up? They got Washington.
Islanders and the Washington, and then the Bruins. So they have to beat the Islanders 2 games, Washington 2 games, the Bruins 2 games to get those 12 points. So hard to imagine that's going to happen.
Well,
if it does happen, then the Bruins are moving into second place.
If they win, though, right? I mean,
let's play that. If the Rangers do win against the Islanders and against Washington the next 4, and the Bruins, they actually want the Rangers to win, which is kind of a wild thing in this division if you look at it.
Yeah.
The Bruins want the Rangers to win the next 4 games, and if they take care of their business, then they end up in second place. So it's such a wild thing with the division this year.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, that'll wrap it up. One big number or stat from the game, 50 hits for the Bruins. 50, 25 to the Penguins. That was interesting to see.
I bet the winning team hasn't got 50 hits too many times this season. A losing team might have 50 hits because they're chasing all night, but a winning team...
Losing teams or winning teams on the road usually don't have 50 hits, usually with the home cooking, at a place. This game being in Pitt. So kind of surprise. Good-looking lid that you got from the Boston Snapback. Thank you. And our guy over at the Coho Pro Shop, Thanks for the lid. This is the old
the
Titan.
Titan's sick. That's blue's sick too.
It is a good blue. I used to use a Titan stick. I used it for a couple of years when my midget and then prep school year, and actually into my first year at college before I started using the two-piece Easton long time ago. My God, that thing
The
was
bright, shiny silver Gretzky one.
silver and gold. I used the gold one. I was given the gold one first. But the Titan line, in fact, all three of us, where I went to prep school, our line all used the blue Titans. And so this is a bit of nostalgia. And
There you go.
yeah, but thanks to the hats again, the Pro Shop, the Coho Pro Shop, Boston Snapback, big time coming through. Thanks to everybody. All right, Boston Bruins win over the Pittsburgh Penguins, 3-1. The Bruins needed that victory, just like Razor and I needed those delicious sandwiches.
You don't even bring me into it. You needed that chicken farm way more than I needed mine.
That is true. I did. Highly recommend it. And last note, too, I wanted to say, having a great week with the Heroes Cup. And that's something I hope maybe we can actually do a little bit, maybe part of a show on coming up, because it is a highly worthwhile event, and it's all about hockey and people that do some great things in our country. All first responders, all different types playing hockey, and we've been holding the Heroes Cup training camp over at Warrior, having a lot of fun with that. That'll wrap things up. We will talk to you after Thursday's game. The Bruins take on the Buffalo Sabres at home on Thursday night. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the victory, and especially enjoy that coffee of yours.